fail. The majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your success.
It is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to...
Not in the Hollywood world. What is wrong with her taking over the film?
I've never seen it before in my 30.
The times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing, those are the times where you...
That all week, and let me just say to all of the women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full.
Personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Blake Lively had a plan. It was supposed to be a game-changing lawsuit, a legal move that would expose Justin Baldoni and turn public opinion in her favor. But instead of winning the battle, Lively may have just lost the war. Her lawsuit didn't just fail, it backfired spectacularly. And now, the truth about her real motives, hidden alliances, and shocking manipulation is finally coming to light. Was this ever really about justice? Or was it a Hollywood power play that went horribly wrong? Let's break it all down. 4 weeks, there was buzz about Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Her team marketed it as a bombshell case, something that would expose Baldoni's alleged behind-the-scenes manipulation. Fans were expecting career-ending revelations, jaw-dropping evidence, and the kind of scandal Hollywood wouldn't recover from. But then, the lawsuit was finally unsealed. And what did we get? Nothing. No shocking evidence. No major revelations. Just vague accusations, recycled claims, and a desperate attempt to control the narrative. And just like that, the entire
process is just I love creating, and I think that as women, you're not...
And I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful. And I think we're good.
Often given authorship, yet women represent 85% of people.
For those who are not in the Hollywood world, what is wrong with her taking over the film?
People making purchases in homes across all categories.
The plan fell apart. But here's the real kicker. This lawsuit wasn't just about Baldoni. It was something much bigger, darker, and more calculated than anyone realized. Because when you dig deeper, you start to see that this was never about justice. This was about power. Hollywood runs on one simple rule: the first person to control the story wins. And Blake Lively? She knows this better than anyone. From the moment the lawsuit was filed, her team pushed a carefully crafted narrative. Headlines painted her as a brave actress standing up to injustice, while Justin Baldoni was subtly framed as the villain. But there was a problem. The more people read the actual lawsuit, the more they started to realize something wasn't adding up. Because while Lively's legal team focused on dramatic language and emotional appeals, they failed to provide any real, damaging evidence against Baldoni. The case wasn't about facts, it was about public perception. And that's when things started to fall apart. Then came the most unexpected twist, the introduction of Isabella Ferrera. If you don't know who she is, here's the quick rundown. Ferrera is a young actress, someone who once looked up to Blake Lively as a mentor. For years, Ferrera spoke glowingly about Blake, calling her a big sister figure who had helped guide her through Hollywood. But now, her name was suddenly dragged into the lawsuit, and people started asking, was Ferrera a willing participant? Or was she being used as a pawn? Because here's the disturbing part. Lively's interactions with Ferrera followed a textbook psychological tactic known as love bombing. What does that mean? It means overwhelming someone with kindness and attention to build trust, only to later use that trust for personal gain. The sleepovers, the heart-to-heart talks, the carefully planted seeds of loyalty. What once seemed like genuine friendship...
I've never seen it before in my 30-plus year career in Hollywood. And
money is on Blake Lively being wrong. All right, you guys, it is...
An executive producer is below a producer in the film world.
Was now starting to look like a calculated manipulation strategy. And the moment the lawsuit mentioned Ferrera, fans started questioning everything. Because if Ferrera was just a tool in Blake's larger scheme, what else had been manipulated? Now, let's talk about Justin Baldoni. In Lively's lawsuit, he was portrayed as a shadowy figure pulling strings behind the scenes, a man who allegedly altered the film's direction for his own agenda. Sounds bad, right? Except, when you actually look at the details, the entire claim falls apart. Because Baldoni wasn't just an actor and it ends with us. He was also one of the main producers and the director. That means every decision he made was part of his job, not some secretive plot to undermine Blake Lively. And when you trace back the timeline, you realize something else. None of the accusations against Baldoni line up with actual events. The lawsuit paints him as controlling, but sources from the set describe him as collaborative. The legal claims suggest manipulation, but leaked emails show mutual agreements between both parties. In other words, this lawsuit wasn't about exposing real wrongdoing. It was about rewriting history to fit a new narrative. And when fans started seeing the cracks in the story, Blake Lively's entire strategy collapsed. This isn't the first time a celebrity has tried to control the media narrative. Think about Amber Heard's disastrous lawsuit against Johnny Depp, where she played the victim, only for the truth to expose her manipulations. Think about Ellen DeGeneres, whose kind and funny image crumbled when former employees revealed the toxic reality behind the scenes. Hollywood is built on PR illusions, and for years, Blake Lively mastered that game. But now, the cracks are showing, and the same machine she once used to her advantage is turning against her. So where does this leave Blake Lively? Her lawsuit was supposed to expose Justin Baldoni. Instead, it damaged her own reputation. Fans who once stood by her are now questioning her motives. Hollywood insiders are whispering about her miscalculated move. And Justin Baldoni, instead of being cancelled, he's walking away from this scandal practically untouched. So the big question remains, can Blake Lively recover from this PR disaster? Or has she just made the biggest mistake of her career? Blake Lively played a dangerous game and lost. But now we want to hear from you. Was this lawsuit a genuine fight for justice? Or was it a failed attempt to manipulate public perception? And most importantly, can Blake Lively bounce back from this backlash? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love keeping up with Hollywood's biggest scandals, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because trust me, this story is far from over. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Would you like any tweaks or additions? Rock it!